Style is something that comes along after many years of working with a particular way of communicating with the public. Sometimes you don't even know what style is or if you even have a style. But if you're fairly centered on what you think and fairly believe what you think and everything, you will develop a certain way of communication, and I've done that. My way of communicating does not agree with everybody. For one, I scattershot. I scattershot a lot. I changed my opinions over time, and this is natural. When I came on to RER, well, it's been 3 years now, I didn't know anything about Texas politics. I dabbled a little bit watching national politics, and I watched Fox News all the time. So when I came on RER, I began to run around with Doc Green, Kathy Glass, listen to George Rodriguez, Heidi, people like that. And I began to form opinions about Texas politics. Naturally, over the last 3 years, my opinions have changed. Um, I wasn't dead set against immigration 3 years ago. I've worked with Mexican people out in West Texas, and I had a natural sympathy for what I considered people who were coming over trying to pick oranges and take a little money back to Mamacita. Well, that's all changed, but then the terrain has changed. It's not them coming over anymore, it's something totally different. Um, if I seem like somebody said I'm peeing on every tree, I do. I swing at every baseball. My site, the Peckerwood Press, at Facebook is an example. Me and Teddy Bear started that about 4 years ago, and originally it was going to be like the Real Housewives of the Trailer Park, and it was going to be humorous stories about trailer trash. Well, that didn't fly a lot, but I kept the site going, and when I put up an article, I have a formula that I use, and I click down through this formula, and that's the way I blitz the social media. I don't have huge publishers, but what I do is I hit from so many different directions at once that I get the amount of reads that I get. Well, some people would rather fine tune. I don't fine tune. I swing at every pitch in the confidence that one day I'll connect with the ball. Another thing, I want to touch this lightly because it's going to make everybody flinch. I'm a professional. I don't need the money. I really don't need the money. I have a nice place I stay up in Utah. I'm not exactly living in a double wide right now. I'm retired, money coming in, and every now and then I get a little sugar cookie in the mailbox, and I live comfortably doing what I do. But there's a capitalist bone in my body that wants to try to turn all this writing that I'm doing into some kind of return on my investment. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. If I don't get a nickel out there in the mailbox, I'll still write. I'll still try to form coalitions with people out in California, agreements with people in Houston and everything. Because as long as I'm turning out the product, people will read. The other thing is I call myself a simple old boy from Austin because I do not have a classical college education. Mainly my education was Killeen High School, right down here in Killeen, Texas, and that's about as ignorant as you can get, and they still let you drive a car. I'll be honest with you. So when I see an issue, I will not usually cite statistics or things like that. I'll fly high above the issue, and I'll try to boil it down to the understanding of people like me. And that rubs a lot of people the wrong way who want to microanalyze and try to understand and predict where things are going to go. But the thing is, when you do that, uh, it's like you're trying to hit a golf ball and predict exactly where it's going to hit. I just predict the green and feel lucky when it gets there. I try not to lie much. I try not to embellish much, but I do. I'm a songwriter. I'm sorry, But so that's my style. That's how I write. And when people reject that or they try to, just don't like what I say, oh well, oh well, dude, that's the way I do it. And that's my little bit for today. It's kind of an op-ed today. It has nothing to do with what I wrote this morning from Teddy Bear. Y'all need to check that out. Called when things get quiet. You need to check that out. There's a lot of clandestine stuff in there. You'll love it. We did not take any journalistic license with that. It's all there. We just left out a lot.